Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Thursday, August 7th. The Dong Report is back in your life. Pretty light slate of MLB games today, only four games today, but I was able to find 5 players that I really like to hit home runs. We do have 5 players on Dong Watch for today. But before we get into that, let's do a recap from yesterday, which was a fine day overall. Nothing amazing, but we were able to get 2 guys to mash home runs. Thank you to Bo Bichette. Thank you to Junior Caminero, giving ourselves a slight profit of 0.26 units. Obviously not incredible, but happy to have a day in the green. On the entire year, that now brings our profits to 3.81 units of profit on the year, 3.16% ROI. You know, those results don't sound incredible by any means, but we've slowly worked our way back up to being up just under 4 units. And at one point in June, we were down like 5, 6, 7 units, something like that. So it's been a pretty good run playing home runs, spraying the board for 0.1 to 0.2 units each. Now, yes, I could have upped my unit size and that profit would be even more. But, 7 plays yesterday, I'm not really going to recommend risking like 7 units on home runs. I think that's a little bit too risky, which is why you see the unit sizing the way it is. Obviously, however you want to unit size, it's totally fine. As for the slate today, not a great home run slate either. As you can see, there is one game in the red, and I don't have any plays in that one. Everything else is basically neutral. Nats Park, neutral. Truist Park, neutral. And T-Mobile Park, slightly below average, but closer to neutral. And, I mean, that's always going to be a neutral stadium because it's never really great weather in Seattle for home runs. So, mostly agreement on weather edge, except for they really like the Nats game, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, I get that the temperature is in the 80s, but 9-mile-per-hour winds blowing in from right field, that's not going to help. That's not going to be great for a left-handed. I mean, it's not going to be great for anything hitting the outfield, especially something that's pulled. So I don't entirely understand the plus 23, and then the other ones are mostly in agreement. I guess they don't hate the Pirates game as much, but neutral in the Braves game. And then they don't have anything for T-Mobile Park on weather edge. So all in all, not the best home run slate in the world, but I am confident in the 5 plays that we have. And 3 of them are in the Mariners versus White Sox game. 2 of them are on the Mariners themselves. It's Cal Raleigh to hit a home run, and it's Josh Naylor to hit a home run. Now, I get that Naylor has been on fire recently. I think he's hit a home run in 2 straight days. So I totally understand people that want to be off of that. The matchup is just so good for him, and he's been hitting so well that I feel good continuing to ride it. Yesterday, he had the home run that was 107 miles per hour off the bat, traveled 450 feet, just absolutely nuked. And then he also had a hard hit that was 98 miles per hour off the bat. That's not amazing, but it's still up there, and that could be a home run if it got a little bit more lift on it. And then Cal Raleigh's kind of the opposite, where I think he's hit 1 home run in the last week, but he hit the absolute piss out of the baseball yesterday. 109 miles per hour off the bat, 103 miles per hour off the bat, and 100.2. So 3 hits, all above 100 miles an hour for Cal Raleigh. He did not hit a home run, but that is fantastic. And the pitcher that they're going up against, Shane Smith, he on the year is not terrible, but he's much, much worse against lefties. Now, Cal Raleigh, switch hitter, going to be batting lefty. Josh Naylor is a lefty. So you look at him on the year, home run every 34 at-bats against lefties, down to every 21 at-bats with some good numbers, some not so good numbers across the board. But you look at recently, his last 5 starts, so basically last 5 weeks, is when it's really been a struggle for him. Home run every basically 6 at-bats. Now he's striking out a lot of batters, but everything else is horrific. Barrel rate, hard hit rate, line drive rate, fly ball rate. I mean, like over 70% of the time, almost 80% of the time, when a batter makes contact with the baseball, it's either a line drive or a fly ball. That's terrible. Yeah, they strike out a lot, but when they make contact, they hit the absolute piss out of it. And you look at the Mariners here. You look at the Mariners. Let me zoom in a little bit. So, no, Raleigh hasn't hit a home run, but you look at, so the last 14 days, it's J-Rod and Randy Rosarena, but you look at the last week, Naylor's got 3 barrels, 9 hard hits, which is a pretty healthy number. And then Raleigh leads the team in hard hits with 10. And his ancillary stats are not terrible. Like his average exit velocity is fantastic. The average launch angle is pretty good. The pull rate is pretty good. The ground ball rate, 36%, is high for him. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. So it's really just been unlucky outs for Cal Raleigh. I think he got robbed, if I remember correctly, not yesterday, but a couple days ago. So I do think that he is going to go on a stretch where he just hits like a home run in 3 straight games, which you've seen him do plenty of times. So he's probably my favorite play of the 5 by far. I mean, obviously it's Cal Raleigh, but I should have mentioned this at the beginning. The odds on these guys are pretty good, like plus 275 for Cal Raleigh. You see him in the 100s a lot. And Josh Naylor, this is actually 575. That 600 is no longer available, so it's down to 575. But for someone as good as he has been against a pitcher that gets hit that hard by left-handed hitters, I think that's well worth taking again for Josh Naylor. The only reason why I didn't go with the 2 righties in Arozarena and J-Rod is just because I wanted to target lefties against Shane Smith. So that was those are the first 2 plays. And then again, even if you look at the entire year, home run every 21 at-bats is nothing to be scared of by any means. So those are the first 2 plays. Next up in the same game, I'm going back to Colson Montgomery. He's just been an absolute animal for us recently, and we're getting a pretty good price on him. He is actually plus 700 at ESPN Bet. So the odds have shifted a little bit. Let me refresh this and see if we can get a little more up-to-date prices here. But Montgomery, Bet365 and ESPN Bet. There you go. You can get the plus 700 for Colson Montgomery. And Raleigh actually went better, up to 290 at Fanatics, even better. So yeah, the pitcher that is pitching for the Mariners is very good. Logan Gilbert is very, very good. He can get hit up a little bit by lefties. You look at Logan Gilbert against left-handed hitters, home run every 27 at-bats on the year. That's not terrible by any means, but it's also not somebody that is completely unhittable. Now, Logan Gilbert is awesome. He's probably going to strike out 10 White Sox in this game tonight. But Colson Montgomery's just been so good, and we're continuing to get such good odds on him that, I mean, we took him in a not great matchup a couple days ago, and he hit a home run at like plus 650 odds. I just think that at the prices that we're getting him at, he's worthy of taking to hit a home run. Like, you look at him over the last month, or last 7 days, 7 hard hits and 3 barrels is acceptable, but you see the 3 home runs. So when he's making contact, they are going yard. And then you look at the last 2 weeks, it's 7 barrels and 18 hard hits, which is pretty good. And you compare that, mostly the barrels, you compare that league wide, and he's one of 11 batters with 7 or more barrels over the last week. And he was kind of leading the MLB, so he's been a little bit hotter 2 weeks ago. But he's hitting well. I love the odds at plus 700, and Logan Gilbert is not completely unhittable, again, by left-handed hitters. And then yesterday, just to give you, he only had 1 hard hit, but at least it was over 100 miles per hour off the bat. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, is 100 miles an hour. And for him, the consistent barrels are pretty good. So that is play number 3. Next up, I'm taking Shea Langeliers to hit a home run. Little bit stinky price on him at plus, so the odds aren't pulling. He's plus 330 at both DK and Fanatics. You can get plus 330 there as the best offered price. He has been pretty good, and he's got pretty good numbers against lefties. Like, you look at him over the last 14 days, 6 barrels puts him in pretty good company, and 21 hard hits puts him in pretty good company as well. I mean, 8 home runs is fantastic. He just is coming off. He hit 3 home runs, was that like 2 days ago? So he didn't have a great day at the plate yesterday, but that's okay when you're coming off of 3 home runs. Mitchell Parker is pitching for the Nationals. He's a lefty. He hasn't been terrible. He's a huge barrel rate guy. You look at him, like, his K rate is low, the hard hit rate is high, fly ball rate is kind of high, and the barrel rate is also kind of high. That's on the year. You look at the last 5 starts for him, and home run every 30 at-bats doesn't look good, but the K rate is still low, the barrel rate is still high. All these numbers are still pretty high. So it's kind of the inverse, well, I guess the same as Cal Raleigh, where his numbers don't look that good, despite the fact that he hasn't given up a ton of home runs. So I guess it is kind of the inverse of Cal Raleigh. So I knew I wanted to target a righty against him, and Langeliers is by far hitting the best on the team. Like, Rooker hasn't done much recently. 13 hard hits and 3 barrels in a 2-week stretch. Especially those hard hits is nothing that you kind of want to tail. And then Kurtz and Soderbaum are both lefties, and I wanted to target a righty. This is the game where the wind was blowing in decently heavy from right field, which is not going to like totally make it so a lefty's incapable of hitting a home run. It's just not going to help. And Langeliers has got pretty good numbers against the pitch mix from Mitchell Parker, which is mostly just a 4-seam fastball. But you look at, we're looking at the Athletics against the four-seam fastball from right-handed hitters. This is over the last month. Granted, it's a tiny sample size, but 3 home runs, 30% barrel rate, 900 ISO is fantastic. And then you look at the entire year, which I like to do for pitch mix. 500 ISO, 20% barrel rate, 46% hard hit rate, 40% fly ball rate. Like pretty good numbers against the four-seamer. That's what he's going to see almost 60% of the time. So Bangaliers, he's been hot recently against the lefty that throws mostly four-seam fastballs. Sounds good to me. And then the last play that we have here is Augustine Ramirez. We're taking him to hit a home run. He is offered at plus 475. Yep, that's the best price. Plus 475 at ESPN Bet. The biggest thing for him is Cookie Carrasco is pitching for the Braves, who's made 1 start in the last 5 weeks. So we're just going to look at the entire year for him. Not been good at all. Home run every 19 and a half at-bats. Goes to every 13 at-bats to right-handed hitters. And kind of similar to Mitchell Parker, pretty bad numbers across the board. Now his K rate is a little bit higher, but the average is high. The home run per 9 is high. The barrel rate is high. Hard hit rate. The line drive plus fly ball rate, it's not terrible, but it's definitely not anything to be scared off of. And over 50% of the time, batters are making solid contact. And Augustine has been hitting well. You look at him, Marlins hitters, he leads the team in hard hits over the last 2 weeks with 21, 6 barrels. In that stretch, you look at him over the last week. Doesn't lead the team in hard hits, but he does have 9, which is an acceptable number. And he's got 3 barrels, which is pretty good for a week stretch, 2 barrels. Yesterday, you look at what he did yesterday, did not hit a home run, but had a pretty decent day at the plate. He had 2 hard hits, and both of them were above 100 miles an hour. He had 110, which is very impressive, and 104, that if you just got a little bit above that, that would have been a home run, but he didn't, so it wasn't. I'm feeling pretty good about him. Obviously, Ball Propel likes the matchup extreme advantage in favor of Augustine Ramirez. So in a light home run day, I have 5 players to go yard, depending on who. Like if it's one of Montgomery, Naylor, or Augustine Ramirez, we're guaranteed to profit. And then if it's Bangaliers or Raleigh, we'd be slightly in the red. If it's only one of those 2, the other 3 are guaranteed to be profitable. So let's hope that we can get one of them. This is my tails account where I send plays out. So if you want to tail, but you don't always want to watch the YouTube videos, this is for you. I put a link to it in the description of the video, as well as a link to Ballpark Pal in the description of the video as well. Colson, Montgomery, Cal Raleigh, Josh Naylor, Augustine Ramirez, and Shea Bangaliers. Those are the 5 players on Dong Watch for today, and that's all we got. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.